10 masculine frame secrets that make younger women chase older men, no money required. Old Stoic Wisdom? Let me ask you something. Have you ever found yourself in a situation with a younger woman, perhaps 10, 15 years your junior, and felt that familiar tension, like any wrong move, any misplaced word or overly eager smile, could send the moment spiraling into awkwardness? You've lived life, gathered wisdom, and you've earned your place in the world. You know who you are. And yet, in her presence, you might feel like you're back in your younger years, unsure, wondering if she's losing interest, second-guessing yourself. Here's the truth. It's never about your wealth. It's not about your appearance. It's not about trying to impress her. The real moment you lose her is when you abandon your masculine frame. That's exactly what I want to talk about here. When you master your frame, when you remain grounded in your confidence, lead without hesitation, and face challenges without flinching, everything changes. Younger women sense that. On a deep, instinctual level, they're drawn to it, they chase it. There's no need for gimmicks or pretending to be someone you're not. You don't need to mimic youth. What you need is to stop giving away your power as if it were inconsequential. In this video, I'll reveal 10 powerful masculine frame secrets that will flip the narrative. So she's the one pursuing, not the other way around. And if you're ready to stop doubting your own worth, hit that subscribe button now. This channel is made for men like you. Let's dive in. Number 1. Pass her tests like a man, not a boy. Let's not sugarcoat this. If you're dating a younger woman, especially one who knows she has options, she will test you, not because she's cruel, but because, deep down, she needs proof. Proof that you're solid. Proof that when life turns the heat up, you don't melt. These tests wear many masks. Playful teasing, subtle jabs, cold distance. But they're all asking the same silent question: can you hold your ground, or will you crumble? This is where old Stoic wisdom kicks in. A man with an iron mind doesn't explain himself to earn points. He doesn't chase her approval like a lost puppy. He stands still while she spins, guided by Stoic principles that have stood the test of centuries. Look at Mike, 52, Ohio businessman, fresh from divorce, meeting Rachel, 29, a sharp and gorgeous yoga instructor. The first date's smooth sailing. Then she arrives late without apology, smirks when he talks about his business, and throws a line. "You sound like my dad." Mike's mistake. He chuckles nervously, over-explains, texts her a long message later asking if he offended her. Fail. Not because he's bad, but because he surrendered his frame. Masculine frame means this: you stay the calm eye in the storm. You lead. You don't chase comfort. You don't let her mood set your compass. Now, flip the script. Same smirk, but this time, Mike locks eyes, smirks back, says, "You like to test guys, huh?" and moves on without waiting for her reaction. That's passing. That's the power of a man rooted in an iron mind. Greg, 47, Austin creative agency owner, here's on date 2. "I'm not looking for anything serious." Most men flinch, scramble to change her mind. Greg leans back. "That's cool. I'm serious about enjoying tonight," and sips his drink. She leans in. Passing her tests isn't about flexing dominance. It's about stillness. Stillness that whispers, "I'm good with or without you. You're welcome to come closer, but I'm not chasing." And here's the truth. Tests never stop. The stronger your frame, the more she'll probe it, not to break you, but to trust you. So when she rolls her eyes, pokes, or plays distant, don't bite. Let the tension hang. Let your silence say, "I can't be moved," because when she can't move you, she starts moving towards you. Most men fail before the real game even starts. But you, armed with old Stoic wisdom, a mind forged in Stoic principles, you'll pass. You must pass. And when you do, she won't just notice. She'll feel it in her bones. Number 2, lead without asking for permission. Let's tear off the bandage. The silent assassin of attraction, asking before you lead. You may think it's polite, respectful, even romantic. But from her perspective, every "is this okay?" or "what do you want to do?" bleeds uncertainty. And uncertainty is the enemy of masculine energy. Masculine energy doesn't stand at the stoplight waiting for someone to wave it through. It moves. It decides. It acts. A man who constantly checks in for permission isn't projecting safety. He's broadcasting doubt. Leadership isn't about controlling her. It's about mastering control over yourself. It shows in the tiniest moments. You name a restaurant, then retreat the second she hesitates. You lean in for a kiss, then pull back mid-move to double-check. You make a plan, then hover, waiting for her to stamp it with approval. Each retreat chips away at your presence, and presence is everything. Marcus Aurelius nailed it. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. That's the challenge. Stop asking if you're making the right move. Make it. Be it. Let her feel the security of your certainty. Here's the truth. Younger women are surrounded by indecisive, overly agreeable men. They're not starving for dominance. They're starving for direction. They crave the man who moves without over-explaining, who's done playing it safe. Practical Stoicism says you only control yourself, your thoughts, actions, and choices. Epictetus reminds us, freedom is the only worthy goal in life, and freedom begins the moment you stop chasing approval. Leading is not rudeness. It's initiating without apology. It's guiding without groveling. It's holding steady when she pushes back, not collapsing at the first sign of a resistance. That's the path of wisdom. When you lead, she feels polarity. She can soften because she trusts your direction. She can enjoy the ride because she's not gripping the wheel. What it looks like in real life, ordering without a nervous laugh, starting a conversation without testing the water, taking her hand without asking for a permission slip. The irony. The more you ask, the less permission you get. The role of man isn't something she'll hand you. She'll test you for it. And if you flinch, you fail. You've been there. That moment you knew what to do. But you hesitated. You softened what didn't need softening. Later, you knew exactly why things cooled. That's not just hesitation. That's self-betrayal. And it leaves a scar on you, not just the moment. Every time you wait for permission, you train yourself to shrink. You train her to lead. You suffocate your masculine frame. Today, choose differently. This isn't about impressing women. It's about reclaiming the part of you that moves without needing a pat on the head. Say it now. No apology, no hesitation. I don't ask. I lead. That's one of the Stoic rules worth living by. And if you follow it, you'll find the attraction you were chasing starts chasing you. If you found this valuable, comment below and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom. Comment to remember, I trust my decisions and lead with confidence. Number 3, stay unshakably calm when she's not. This is where attraction is forged or destroyed. And it never happens when skies are clear. It happens in the storm, when she's moody, distant, unpredictable, even hostile. Every impulse in you will scream to fix it, defend yourself, argue your case. Don't. That's the trap. Epictetus taught that we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. When she loses her center, the most magnetic thing you can do is keep yours. In today's world of instant replies and reactive emotions, the man who can hold still when the room is shaking is rare, and rare is valuable. I've seen men win again and again simply because they refuse to flinch. Daniel, a 55-year-old in San Diego who reads Marcus Aurelius at lunch, faced it with Alyssa, a vibrant 31-year-old who suddenly began picking at him mid-dinner. Every nerve told him to fight back, but he breathed, stayed composed, and replied with calm curiosity. That is power. That is masculine containment. Modern life rewards speed, but in these moments, you win by slowing down. Stoicism isn't numbness, it's sovereignty. It's knowing that her chaos isn't yours to carry. Younger women are used to men mirroring their moods. When she's upset, they chase, they fix, they apologize into weakness. You don't. You set the emotional temperature. You lead by steadiness, not by scrambling. Daniel didn't dismiss her emotion. He gave it space to dissolve on its own. And that's when safety grows. And safety is the real key when she feels safe. She softens, maybe not instantly, but inevitably. In our age of constant noise and quick tempers, calmness is an act of dominance. It tells her, I've seen worse. I've been through more. I will not break because of this. That's how you pass the unspoken test. She's not always looking for answers. She's looking for proof. Proof your presence is larger than her storm. Most men fail because they confuse emotion with threat, but a man grounded in stoicism sees it for what it is, a moment to show strength. Don't chase, don't fix, don't flinch, hold. The wind will pass, and when it does, she will remember who stood unshaken. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Let's make this your standard. Let's make calm your weapon. That is how older men win, without money, without games, just presence, mastery, and the unshakable frame that makes her lean in instead of pull away. Number 4, be the mystery that turns her on. Not the soap opera kind of mystery where you vanish for days like a magician with commitment issues. I'm talking about the kind that's carved from an iron mind, shaped by old Stoic wisdom and guarded like a treasure you don't hand to anyone who knocks. You want younger women to lean in, eyes wide, wondering it's not just about your age, your calm, or your laugh lines. It's the fact that they can't quite read you, that there's something behind those eyes they can't name, and the harder they try, the deeper they're pulled in. That's not a gimmick. That's Stoic principles in motion. Most men sabotage themselves here. They turn into open books nobody wants to reread, oversharing, over-explaining, spilling their entire soul before the appetizer even hits the table. They confuse honesty with emotional dumping. They strip away all tension, all intrigue, leaving nothing to discover. Don't be that man. Be the man who understands his depth is earned, never handed out on demand. The ancients knew this. Epictetus didn't broadcast every inner thought. He embodied it. And so should you. Don't narrate your every move. Live it. Let her sit with your silence. Let her feel the weight of a pause. If she's always certain what you'll say next, you've already lost the game. You're no longer a man, just a line in her script. Predictable, harmless, forgettable. Mystery doesn't mean you lock the vault forever. It means you open it with purpose, not panic. You let her knock, and when the timing is right, you open one door, not the whole mansion. You've got purpose she hasn't touched yet, rituals she can't decode, a life that hums without needing her applause. That's not being aloof. That's living with an iron mind, where your energy isn't a public fountain anyone can drink from. She doesn't want to consume you. She wants to explore you. She wants to sense that even if she's close, there are layers she may never touch. And when she leans in, you meet her. Without emptying yourself to prove something, hold the mystery even in your most connected moments, because that's when desire deepens. Let other men broadcast themselves like a bad podcast. You stay still. Stillness invites curiosity. Curiosity breeds tension, and tension is the secret engine of attraction. You don't need tricks, you need restraint. Sometimes, when she asks why, the best answer is a slow smile that dares her to keep guessing. That's mystery, that's magnetism, and that, forged with old Stoic wisdom, is how you stay unforgettable. If you're ready to unlock the timeless wisdom that makes younger women chase older men, no wealth required. Drop a comment right now. I hold the power of experience. Like this video, subscribe for more unshakable knowledge, and remember, true strength comes from mastering the mind. Number 5, own your emotions. Don't rent them out. Let's cut to the bone here. If a woman can hijack your mood with a look, a text delay, or a sideways comment, then your emotions are not yours. They're leased property. And guess what? She's the landlord, and she can evict your peace anytime she wants. A man in his frame, his real masculine frame, doesn't hand over the keys to his inner world. That's one of the oldest Stoic rules. It's also practical Stoicism in motion. You own your reactions, or someone else will own you. Michael's lesson. Michael, 50, Arizona, runs a small contracting business. Good guy. Just stepped out of a 10-year, dead-flat marriage. He meets Chloe, 33. She's sharp, fun, a little unpredictable. At first, Michael is a king. She lights up when she sees him. The chemistry electric. Then week 3 rolls in. Suddenly, she takes hours to reply. She goes cold, drops her ex's name into conversation, twice. Michael feels the punch. His chest knots. His mind spins. He starts looking for answers in her words, her tone, her timestamps. The man goes from a roaring fireplace to a flickering candle. By the time they talk again, his energy has shifted. He's guarded, a little bitter. He hasn't said the wrong thing, but she feels it. She senses he's no longer leading. He's reacting. That's the danger. You go from being the sun, the center of your own solar system, to a weather vane, spinning whichever way her wind blows. The Stoic truth. A grounded man doesn't numb out. He feels everything, but he doesn't turn every feeling into a reaction. Seneca nailed it. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. That's one of the timeless paths of wisdom. Don't let your imagination do her dirty work for her. Owning your emotions means you decide what gets in. You don't suppress, you command. Practical Stoicism isn't about being an emotional iceberg. It's about being the captain of your own ship, even in rough seas. What Michael could have done. Chloe's delay and coldness. It's a test, intentional or not. A man in his masculine frame says, "I see it, noted, but it doesn't shake me." Then he goes about his day, hitting the gym, closing deals, calling his brother. He doesn't outsource his state to her whims. Instead, Michael let her energy infect him, and once she saw that her mood dictated his respect, took a hit. Attraction quietly stepped back. Why stability wins? Attraction dies not because you feel, but because you wobble. The strongest men are not stone cold. They're contained. They treat their emotions like private real estate, not public rental property. When you can stay solid and human, she exhales. She knows you're not going to crumble because she's having a bad day. That's magnetic. That's polarity. That's leadership. Emotional leadership. Your move? Masculinity is not pretending you're made of granite. It's being able to feel everything without losing your grip. You must be present. Be kind. Be clear. That is power. Ask yourself, when was the last time you let someone else dictate your mood? When did you give away the keys to your own kingdom? If that's been you, this is the line in the sand. Say it. Not for me, but for yourself. I own my state. Because once you do, everything changes. And that's not just a dating skill. That's one of life's deepest paths of wisdom. Number 6. Speak with heat, then pull back with ice. This is not a trick. This is not a gimmick. This is the discipline of attraction forged in the fires of Epictetus and the cool steel of Stoicism. When the connection heats up, when you feel her leaning in, when the air between you is alive, do not rush in like every desperate man before you. Don't flood her with your words. Don't give her all your secrets. You must master the art of the surge and the retreat. Step in with fire in your voice. Look her in the eye. Deliver a line that hits her like a hammer to the soul. Then, without apology, step back into stillness. Let her feel the gap. Let her wonder. Marcus Aurelius said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. That is why you must control yourself first. You create desire not only through what you say, but through what you withhold. The space you leave is the spark's oxygen. This is emotional leadership. This is restraint in action. Men without discipline burn out their own fire by staying too hot too long. Men without courage never ignite it at all. You must be both, the heat that awakens and the ice that steadies. You must embody the tide, rolling in close, then receding, leaving her standing in the wake of your presence. This is the masculine frame, calm, centered, unbent by approval, untouched by panic. Seneca warned us, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Most men waste the moment by explaining, chasing, overproving. Don't let her carry the weight of curiosity. Let her replay your words in her head when you're gone. This is how older men win without money, without chasing, by living the old wisdom that desire grows in the space between presence and absence. In modern life, where instant replies and constant notifications kill mystery, you become rare by holding back. You must resist the urge to fill the silence. You must welcome the gap. That is where she starts to lean forward, where she starts to invest. Heat without ice is chaos. Ice without heat is emptiness. The power lies in the shift. Epictetus taught that we cannot control others, only ourselves. So be the man who controls his presence like a weapon. Step in, ignite, withdraw. Let her feel the burn and the chill. That contrast is the hook. That balance is the art. The younger man competes with volume, with speed, with noise. You win with timing, with restraint, with the elegance of knowing exactly when to walk away. Do not fear that she will forget you in the silence. Fear instead that you will be forgettable by staying too long. You want victory? Then master this. Speak with heat, pull back with ice, and watch the world lean in to follow the man who needs no chase. If you find today's content useful to you, don't forget to share your feelings and lessons with us, or simply comment, "Very cool." It's a great encouragement for our channel makers. Thank you very much. Number 7. Let your eyes talk, but say very little. Don't mistake silence for weakness. Don't think that if you're not speaking, you're losing ground. No. The right kind of silence is a weapon. It's not the awkward, sweaty-palmed kind that comes from not knowing what to say. It's the still, unshakable calm of a man who knows exactly who he is and doesn't need to audition for anyone. That's old Stoic wisdom, where the iron mind speaks before your tongue ever does. Brian learned this the hard way. 58 years old, ran a humble martial arts gym in Austin, spent decades as the safe guy. Always polite, always explaining, always trying to prove he was worth keeping around. Then came Jade, 34, razor sharp, a beauty who'd played emotional chess with men twice her age and usually won in 3 moves. On their second date, she fired the question every man knows is coming. So, what do you really want out of this? Most men would scramble, explain, overcompensate, sell themselves like they were pitching a used car. Brian didn't. He just looked at her, calm, steady, unhurried. He let the tension build, let his eyes hold hers until she was the one who had to break. And then, only then, he said, "I know what I want. I'm just not here to sell myself to you." That's the power of presence. That's the unpredictability that makes her lean in instead of lean away. The man who doesn't fill the air with words becomes the man she can't quite read. And mystery is magnetic. You must understand, this connection isn't born in a flood of chatter. It's sparked in the quiet, in the space between words, in the energy that simmers when nothing needs to be said. The Stoic principles have preached it for centuries. When your mind is still, your eyes don't dart, they anchor. Marcus Aurelius knew it. The soul becomes dyed with the colour of its thoughts. Your thoughts are strong, your gaze is stronger. This isn't about playing games. It's about mastering yourself so deeply that the outside world bends toward your calm. When Brian held that stare, Jade's posture shifted, her voice softened, her curiosity bloomed. She started working to pull him closer, because women chase what they can't fully grasp. And you, if you want younger women chasing you without flashing $1, must master this iron mind. Don't flinch, don't explain away your power. Be the man who can sit in silence without feeling small. That's old Stoic wisdom at work, silent, steady, unmovable. And that's the kind of man who turns heads without even speaking. Number 8. Touch her mind before you touch her skin. Here's a truth most men miss: if you can't touch her mind, your hands won't matter. Forget the surface stuff. You can have the looks, the money, the charm, but if she doesn't feel something deeper, something beyond the obvious, you're wasting your time, especially when it comes to younger women, women who are surrounded by attention and flattery. They're not impressed by superficiality. They're not here for the quick thrills of a well-timed compliment or a casual touch on the arm. They're drawn to something far more magnetic, something that resonates beyond the surface. And that magnetic force starts in the mind. It's in the way you look at her, not with hunger, but with awareness. It's in the way you ask questions that pierce through the usual small talk. You're not just filling the air with empty words. You're creating space for connection. In that silence, that pause between your sentences, that's where mental intimacy begins. What most men fail to grasp is this physical escalation comes after you touch her mind. If you jump straight into compliments and touch, thinking that's all you need to do, you're missing the point. High-value women, especially, are constantly evaluating men, not just by their charm or their appearance, but by something far more subtle. They want a man who can meet them at a deeper level. You want to intrigue her, make her feel something she doesn't feel from every other guy. Make her feel safe, energized, curious. This starts by meeting her at the level of thought, not just sensation. Ask her questions she doesn't hear every day. But don't do this with manipulation in mind. Do it with real presence, with the intention to understand her mind, not to get something from her, but to connect. Listen to her words, not just to respond, but to understand. Most men are waiting for their turn to speak, but you must resist that urge. Instead, listen intently. When you respond, do so slowly and with weight, because words that are thrown carelessly don't land, but words that are placed with intention, with depth, land like a touch. The ancient Stoic wisdom of Marcus Aurelius rings true here. The soul becomes dyed with the colour of its thoughts. If your thoughts are calm, grounded, and clear, that's exactly what she feels from you. She senses that you're not just hunting her body, you're reading her frequency. And when that happens, attraction deepens. It becomes less about how she looks and more about how she feels when she's around you. You want to notice the subtle shifts. She'll lean in, her breathing will slow, her voice will soften. That's not seduction in the conventional sense. That's nervous system trust. And you created that trust, not by rushing in or playing games, but by holding your frame, by not forcing the moment. Touching her mind means showing her that you're not in a hurry. You're patient, you can handle tension, and you're not out for instant gratification. You're here for something deeper. You'd rather be felt deeply than accepted quickly. That's what creates the foundation for everything else. When you finally touch her skin, it won't be a move. It will feel like a natural continuation of something that has been building quietly, slowly, between you. Here's where most men falter. They're not unattractive, but they never tried to reach her deeper layers. They didn't have the patience, the presence, or the depth. They weren't able to hold their frame and build the mental intimacy needed to create real attraction. But you're different. If you're still reading, you're not here to play shallow games. You're here to build something magnetic, something meaningful. And it all starts with the mind, not the body. This is practical Stoicism at its finest. The Stoic rules of patience, presence, and emotional mastery are exactly what allow you to build something deeper with her. If you can master the paths of wisdom and hold your frame while engaging her mentally, the physical side of the relationship will come naturally. It will feel like the next chapter in a story that was written long before your hands even touched her skin. So here's your takeaway. Don't rush. Don't settle for surface-level attraction. Reach her mind, and you'll earn her trust. And when you finally touch her skin, it'll be a perfect continuation of the mental intimacy you've already built. Let's build something magnetic. Reach her mind first. If you're still here, you're already different from the majority. Most men rush, but you understand the power of depth. You know that real attraction starts in the mind, not with a touch. Now, take the first step toward mastering this. I touch her mind first. Drop that in the comments if you're ready to build something real, something magnetic. Number 9. Set boundaries like you set the mood. Let me tell you something crucial. The moment you start setting boundaries like a man is the moment she starts seeing you as one. You must embody your boundaries with clarity and decisiveness, like a true leader, and make no apologies for it. This is not about control or power. It's about self-respect and demonstrating your inner strength. You see, a man who can't set boundaries is a man who is not in control of his life. His energy is chaotic, reactive, and uncertain. But a man who sets boundaries with authority stands firm, unshaken, and untouchable. Think about Travis, a 47-year-old architecture firm owner in Denver. He's stoic, grounded, and doesn't waste time on theatrics. When he started seeing Brooke, a flirtatious 29-year-old, their chemistry was undeniable. They hit it off quickly, late nights, deep conversations, intense passion. But soon, she began testing him. She showed up late, cancelled plans last minute, and even flirted in front of him to see how he'd react. Most guys would either lash out, get emotional, or withdraw, afraid to lose her. Not Travis. One night, she texted, "Sorry, I'm running late again." He simply replied, "No worries. Let's skip tonight. I don't reschedule twice. Clean, calm, and decisive. No anger, no guilt, no explanation, just a boundary." And here's what happened. Brooke went silent for a day, then returned, apologized, and showed up on time next time, dressed to impress. Why? Because boundaries don't push women away. They filter out the ones who aren't strong enough to handle your frame. Women test men, not to break them, but to see where their limits are, to understand what they stand for, and to gauge the strength of their character. When you set boundaries with confidence, not only are you protecting yourself, but you're also showing her that you're a man of substance, someone she can trust and respect. Remember what Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." If you cannot control your reactions and set clear boundaries, then you are not in control of your life. And without control, there is no freedom. Look, this isn't about being cold or distant. It's about being grounded, principled, and unwavering in your resolve. Women will test you, but the ones worth your time will respect the man who doesn't bend to every whim. When you stay calm, state your limits, and move forward without resentment, you exude power. You don't explain your boundaries, you embody them. Just like you set the mood for an evening with a soft light or the perfect music, you set the boundaries with the same subtlety and strength. The mood you create is a reflection of your inner control. You lead the dynamic, and you never beg for respect. Respect isn't something you ask for, it's something that is earned by the way you show up. So ask yourself, have you ever been in a situation where you had to choose between keeping her happy or staying true to yourself? And when you set the line, how did she respond? You must be firm in your resolve and show that your boundaries define your life, not her whims. If you allow your mood to shift every time she tests a boundary, you become reactive, not assertive. But when you hold steady, you send a message that you are unshakable. As Epictetus once said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. This applies directly to setting boundaries. The moment you begin to set boundaries with conviction, you will see the results. Women will chase you, not because you demand it, but because you've mastered yourself, and that's irresistible. Boundaries are your shield, your armor. Use them, set them like a man, and never, ever apologize for them. Number 10. Make her feel safe enough to want to be bad. Men often get it wrong when they think that a woman's thrill comes from danger or unpredictability. They mistake emotional turbulence for the kind of excitement that draws her in. But here's the unshakable truth. A woman becomes her most uninhibited, her most turned on, her most deeply feminine, not when her heart is racing with adrenaline, but when she feels safe. Not the safe of a nice guy who'll do anything to avoid conflict. Not the safety of someone who never challenges her. No, it's the kind of safe that feels grounded. Safe like a man who won't be rattled if she shows her darker side. Safe like the kind of man who can stand tall when she's at her messiest and not flinch. Safe like the man who sees her fully, but isn't afraid of what he sees. This is the kind of rock-solid frame that unlocks the woman who's hiding beneath her surface, the part she shows to no one else. Why? Because when a woman feels that sense of grounded energy, when she knows she's not being judged or rushed, when she's not dealing with someone who's trying to fix or control her, she can let go. That's when the facade comes down. She doesn't need to perform. She no longer needs to manage the way you see her. The walls come down, and she lets herself breathe deeply, laugh freely, touch longer. Her voice softens, her eyes warm, and just like that, the mask she wears, the good girl mask, falls away. What's left is the woman beneath raw, unfiltered, and true to herself. But here's where it gets interesting. This transformation only happens when she feels emotionally safe with you. You create that feeling by staying present. Don't flinch when she opens up. Don't try to match her emotional intensity or force her story to fit your own. Let her be chaotic if she needs to, while you remain calm, clear, and unshaken. This is where Stoic wisdom comes in. As Marcus Aurelius, the master of Stoic principles, once said, "Be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands unmoved, and the raging of the sea falls still around it." That's the essence of what you need to be the unwavering, still presence she surrenders to. You don't lead her into chaos. You provide her with a safe space where she can let her chaos flow free. When you hold that space for her, when she feels that kind of trust, she'll want to be all the things she's been told she shouldn't be. Not because you asked her to, but because her very nervous system knows she's safe enough to do so. That's not a game. That's gravity. And when you've got that force behind you, everything changes. She will chase you, not because you manipulated her, but because she can't help herself. You've now stepped into the kind of iron mind that Stoicism teaches, solid, unyielding, and yet gentle enough to allow her the freedom to be her authentic self. And that's when the magic happens. Hey, if you've made it this far, you're not just watching, you're remembering who you truly are. This channel isn't about handing out tricks or quick fixes. It's about sharpening that part of you that refuses to settle for average. So, if you're building your masculine frame, your discipline, and cultivating that inner gravity, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.